This video is going to step through the example in tutorial 1 of the book. And this is the initial web page. It's a static web page. There's no JavaScript yet. And we could put in the email address of each of these staff members at the library. As you see there in figure 1-2 on page 3, we could have just literally coded. However, there's some concern about an email harvester coming in and then spamming these people. So the decision was made, let's not hard code the email address for these email harvester to pick up. What we'll do is we will call a function in JavaScript, and the function's already written for you, but we're going to call a function in JavaScript, and that function you call is, as you see in figure 1-3 on page 3, and send the pieces of the email address in 2 pieces to this function so that it's not statically written and cannot be harvested by the email harvester unless they happen to know exactly the script you wrote, which would be not possible. Okay, so I'm going to work in Dreamweaver. I have Dreamweaver CS5 here, and I already have the application open. I'm in Coder View, and I have split view with the design at the bottom and the code at the top. You may have split it the other way to change. Under view you can do split vertically and then the code will be to the left. I prefer that my code be to the top, so I normally take that check out of that area. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is talk about the document.write command, and that begins on page 10. So the document is an object. So JavaScript is object-based. So the document is an object, and it represents the web page, the part of the web page that the user sees. So we can use the document object in JavaScript to manipulate and make this web page more dynamic. Objects can have things done to them. These things done to them are called methods. Okay? So for example, if I have a car object, I could have a method called brake. And because brake is something that the car can do. With most object-oriented or object-based languages, you use a dot operator, the period, between the name of the object and the name of the method to call the method. So as you see there on page 10, we have a document.write. Well, what the write and the write line method, they are really about the same, do about the same thing. But what they do is they take the string that you're telling it to write and they write it exactly where you have that script, that statement at in JavaScript. Okay, so let's look right here at this email. So let's say I did want to use script to put the email in instead of putting it in statically. So here I am in code to where that table cell is, and I'm going to add a script. Okay, element, and this is how the browser knows we're going to add some JavaScript. Here we go, text JavaScript. What I like to do then is open and close my tag at the same time so that we can't forget to include that. Okay. All right, so if I wanted to write, notice that I am nested right here in between the 2 TDs, and I'm adding the script. So if I wanted to write something, document.write, okay, and notice how Dreamweaver CS5 brings up some IntelliSense as I'm typing, okay, to help me know what methods are available. And here it says markup. Do you notice here it says it's waiting for me to write some markup. So markup could be just text, it could be HTML, but whatever you put in there, you must put between quotes. Okay, so if I wrote Kathy's address, Kathy's email here, and notice that I did a couple things here. The parenthesis is where the argument of your method goes, and the argument is a string that you want to write. Okay, and the string must be in quotes. So Kathy's email will render right here when I am, let me go to live code, and you will see it says Kathy's email right there. And let me take live code off. Okay. So instead of writing literally Kathy's email, what we're going to do is, let's say, make a hyperlink. So I could make a hyperlink with the mail to, oops, got to do href equals mail to, colon, and if this were Kathy's email address, okay, but I do, okay, look what I did here. JavaScript, or I mean Dreamweaver says, hey, you've got a syntax error. So this is an advantage of working with Dreamweaver when you're writing JavaScript, is that it lets you know, it helps you out when you're coding. And I immediately see that what I did was I did a double quote, and then I double quoted. Now the double quote here and here is the string that's going to be written. But what happens is, because I did the double quote for my attribute, okay, JavaScript's going to say, hey, that's the end of your string. So what's all this other stuff to the right? You're not allowed to do that. So what I need to do is come in and modify the inner double quotes to a pair of single quotes. Okay? And you notice when I do that, the error has gone. Okay? And then, so I can continue and with the rest of my JavaScript. Let's see. So after that, I would write cadler at npl.gov, and then I would have a closing A. Okay? And this whole string, it would be as if I wrote the HTML right between the TD tags here, literally. Okay? So let's go to live code and see what happens here. It refreshes, and notice we have the hyperlink, because that's what I told it to write, was the hyperlink. Now, as you do document.write, as I mentioned, wherever you do a document.write, that's where it writes at. So let's say I decide to do a document.write up here in the head. I got to put it between the script tags first. My fault. And Dreamweaver's helping me out here. Close it. Okay. And if I wrote document.write, so anywhere in between the script tags, let's say I do a H1. This is a test. And then let's close my H1. And then close my quotes. And then close the argument. Okay, so here I have a script. Notice it's before the head. So where is it going to write? Well, let's test it. Test it in the browser here. And here I am in Firefox. And I didn't do it right. Tools. Error console.